The letter to the Hebrews, chapter 2, explains why the eternal Son of God had to become a human, suffer, and die. Some people might think that it was strange that the creator of the universe might become as small and fragile as a human being is. But the author of Hebrews says that this is precisely what was needed for our salvation. We read in verse 14, "Since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is, the devil." The idea here is that the power of death could be broken only by the death of Christ. Only the creator of humanity could represent all of humanity, and only if he did not deserve to die through any sins of his own. When he died an unjust death, he broke the power of all our enemies, including death and the devil, our adversary. We still die, of course, but death cannot hold us, and Jesus will raise us from the dead. And with this good news, verse 15 tells us, Jesus freed those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death. We need not fear death, because that enemy has been defeated. It can strike us once, but it cannot hold us down. Verse 16, "For surely it is not angels that he helps, but Abraham's descendants. And we are all Abraham's descendants through faith in Jesus. For this reason," verse 17 says, "he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people." So now the author of Hebrews has added a second thought. Not only did Jesus die for our sins, die to free us from the penalty of death, Jesus also became a merciful and faithful high priest for us. As a high priest, he represents God to us, and he represents all of us to God. Since he is both God and human, he is able to bridge the gap between us, and he now lives as our high priest, seated in heaven at the right hand of God in a place of power and intercession. Verse 18, "Because he himself suffered when he was tempted, he is able to help those who are being tempted." And I think we can rightly say he is able to help those who are suffering. When we suffer, when we are tempted to turn away, Jesus knows how we feel because he's been there. He can help us because as the pioneer of our salvation, he is the way, the path we need to take. He doesn't just point out which way we need to go. He goes with us, helping us when times are tough and when times are good. He's in heaven right now, interceding for us.